Chapter 3 Condemnation. Light surrounds us, and we were standing in the front room of his home. It's nighttime now, so there's no light coming through the windows, only from the few candles that have been lit and perched on the end tables and shelves. Job shuffles us across the room, so we're huddled together in a corner facing the front door. Dominic and I let our backs rest up against the wall while Job just stands straight up, eyes intently set ahead of him. Past Job is seated on a chair, staring out the front window, talking to himself. He looks far more disheveled now than he was during his final fight with his wife. His hair has grown a bit, still very patchy. There are dark circles under his eyes, and his cheeks have sunken in a bit. It can't have been that long since the fight, but even if only a day has gone by, those 24 hours have certainly not been very kind to him. God did not care for me the night I was born. Always his plan was to place darkness around me and cover me with clouds. Why was I not stillborn? Why didn't I die as I emerged from my mother's womb? I don't deserve the food placed before me, or the water poured for me. For the thing I feared, my Lord himself has come over me. He has come to place anxieties and despair in my heart. I cannot relax. I cannot be calm. Turmoil is now, and I have not slept. Job? A man with long, black hair is standing in the doorway. Past Job stands up quickly when he sees him, surprised, and maybe a little bit thrilled to actually have a visitor. His solemn face flushes with the light pink tint. Eliphaz, Past Job says, stretching his arms outward and walking over to hug the man very awkwardly, then returns to his seat by the window. My friend, you've come. I have heard your words. These I don't recognize from you. The man called Eliphaz enters the room and sits beside Past Job. In the past you have steadied your friends who were stumbling and braced our legs when we fell, but now you have been struck by God's curse, and you are exhausted. You've lost your confidence in the Lord's righteousness. Have you tried to call out to the Holy One? Eliphaz continues. Is he even the one you turn to? Your anger will kill you if you remain foolish. The Lord heals the needy when their words are sharp like knives. He releases them from the greedy and powerful. He can wound, yes, but he bandages you, and his hands are healing. We know this is true. You must hear us and believe it as well. Us? Job asks, confused. At that moment, two more men enter the room. One has long reddish-brown hair, and the other has brown hair that stops at his shoulders. Identical severe expressions are strewn across their faces. They seat themselves in the chairs opposite of Eliphaz and gaze sadly at Past Job, who looks like he wants to be excited by the arrival of more peers, but is hesitant now. He taps his leg a few times, then takes a deep breath. I have wished for God to kill me, Job confesses to them. I've asked nothing else these last few days but for his hand to crush me and take my life so that I may finally be comforted by him. I have no strength left, no hope. Shouldn't my despair call for loyalty from you, my closest and most trusted friends? But even you believe I am cursed. You blame me and are afraid to get too close unless I confess to sins I haven't committed. But if you are so sure, then teach me. Tell me what I've done wrong, and I will admit my mistakes. Until then I will not restrain my mouth, but I will defend my spirit. Do you still consider me part of the sea, or is it that I have become the monster in the sea that you fear so greatly? Please listen, be open with us, the man with reddish-brown hair says. What say you, Bildad? Past Job snaps at the man. Because the Lord has decided I have sinned against him, you have made me a target too? Am I incapable of forgiveness? Not worthy even of my friends to be heard and understood? Your words are perverted, Job, Bildad speaks again. How long can you go on acting this way, acting as though you are blameless? God does not reject men of integrity, and he does not support those who are evil. You think I'm evil? Past Job scoffs. Compared to God, the one who is all-powerful, who can move mountains without their consent because he is angry, or shake the earth when he feels like it, or command the sun to stop shining, the stars? The Lord is wise. He makes no mistakes. The Lord does not hold back his anger. Even if I am right, saying I am blameless, who am I to beg for mercy when the Lord has decided to strike me? If it is a matter of my strength, I am weak in comparison to him. I believe I am blameless, but I no longer care for my life or myself. He will curse the blameless and the wicked alike. I am on my own. But you must not be blameless, seeing as the Lord has punished you so greatly. Can't you see? Can't you admit your sin and ask for forgiveness now? Bildad suggests. Have you done no wrong, Bildad? How about you, Eliphaz? Or you, Zophar? What sort of friends are you to cast blame onto me, to demand that I beg for forgiveness even though I have been loyal to God? I have done my prayers, I have followed his commands, yet you still accuse me. Leave me alone. Do not come back. You are no friends of mine. I want to be alone as I disappear into the darkness, never to return. For even when there is light, it is still dark. The Lord knows who is worthless, Job, the third man, Zophar says. Past Job's mouth drops open. Anger pours into his eyes when his pupils dilate. His hands begin to tremble. I have a mind like you do. I know all that you know. I am not inferior to you. I do not lie the way you do to make myself look better. I wish you would just shut up and allow your wisdom to lay in that. I want to continue to believe that God will be merciful to me when I defend myself. You condemn yourself, Job, not us, Eliphaz says. Your heart has misled you, and now you are angry with God for his justice? A wicked person behaves this way. A wicked person opposes God and is arrogant. If I were in your place, I could speak like you do, Past Job replies. More calmly he adds, I was once living at ease, but he has shattered me. He has made me a target. Now my friends mock me while I weep before God. I am broken, yet you spit at me. Bildad scoffs. How long until you stop talking? Show some sense, then we'll talk. You are acting stupid. You don't know God. Even if it is true that I have sinned against God and deserve his curses, my mistakes still concern me and only me. But go ahead. Past Job sits back in his seat and throws his hands into the air. Act as if you are superior to me. Nevertheless, I implore you to understand that it is God who has wronged me, not the other way around. And now you have abandoned me, forgotten who I am to you. You despise me, you are against me, and you have taken it upon yourselves to judge me. You are wicked and you have iniquities, Zophar says. Come to terms with God and you will have peace. God saves the humble. I will not be destroyed by this darkness. I will not admit that I've done wrong when I haven't. Until the day I die, I refuse to allow your accusations to defeat me. We have tried to help you, Job, Bildad chimes in again. You have done nothing of the sort. I begged for a hand of friendship, and in return I was denied and ruined. When I hoped for goodness, evil showed up at my door. I waited for light and was presented with more darkness. Have I not wept for you, or encouraged you, or tended to you in times of need? The three men don't reply to Past Job. They're not even looking at him anymore, but at each other instead. It is silent for a while. The anger stews amongst them, causing the air to thicken with heated sighs. The door creaks slightly, and another man walks into the room. His face is bright red, similar to the strawberry tone Past Job wore when he was arguing with his wife, and appears to be just as angry and upset as everyone else. He slams the front door shut and stares at the men sitting in the living room. His nostrils are flaring widely. If the scene didn't feel so rigid, I'd probably laugh. Elihu? Past Job stands up and greets him at the door with a handshake. Elihu doesn't accept it. This makes Past Job press his lips into a tight, flat line, hurt by the rejection, and he drops his hand. What are you doing here? I have been right outside. I have heard everything, he says to Past Job, then turns to look at the men still sitting down. Shame on you three. You have scorned Job. It is not your duty to judge this man. You are called to be merciful, yet here you are, tossing accusations and condemning him as if you have nothing on your records. We are called as followers of God to rebuke our friends. Elihu raises his hand to silence Bildad, who frowns. You are called to be guides, not executioners. Listen to me, you simple-minded men. You men who are supposed to be open and understanding. God will not hear empty cries or complaints. You are to be patient with Job as he comes to his understanding of God's curses, guiding him along to mercy, but instead you failed him. Patient with me? Past Job's face falls. Elihu, I thought you'd come to support me, but I find myself under scrutiny again. Job, be mindful of God's wonders, Elihu says gently. How can you question his authority at this time? I have no words. I don't know what to say. He will not look favorably on you with the desolate wisdom in your heart. Past Job stands completely still and gapes at his friends, his face expressionless. The three men sitting down are staring at Elihu, still refusing to look Past Job in the eye. I want you all to leave, Past Job says through gritted teeth. I am disgraced by this. You are not my friends. You claim me to be an evildoer, but it is you. I will have no more of this. Leave my home. I expect to hear nothing from all of you for the remainder of our days. When he finishes speaking, he turns and walks out of the room, not allowing any of the four men to comment or even dismiss themselves. The last we hear of him are his footsteps going up the stairs and a door shutting quietly, but just loud enough that we can still hear it. I feel a hand take mine and darkness overtakes me. My heart aches so badly for Job after everything we've just heard. I close my eyes, taking in a long blink, and when I open them again, we are back in Job's room in the afterlife. I must have been holding my breath this entire time because I release it and it takes at least 10 seconds to let it all out. Sadly, that is not the end of my story, Job says. It is, however, all we can see unfold in real time. The rest I will have to tell you in my own words. God spoke to you, right? I ask. Don't tell me we're about to see God, Dominic mutters, looking a little nervous. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to, Job explains. It's more complicated than a simple show and tell. What do you mean? Job rubs his eyes and sniffs. The age in his face is showing more now from the cemented worry lines around his eyes and brows. That's true. God did speak to me. Though it wasn't until I died when I found out his involvement with the devil. End of chapter 3.